It is time to talk some football, and with me today is Stephen A. Harris and Josh Markowitz. First things first, let's talk some new team acquisitions. Guys, which new acquisition is going to have the biggest impact on their team? Josh, let's start with you.
I'm going with Percy Harvin moving from the Vikings to the Seahawks. In half a season last year, Percy Harvin, 62 catches, the Seahawks leading receiver, 50. They ran the ball more than any other team in the league. Plus, they're losing Leon Washington, their Pro Bowl kick returner. Harvin, 34.2 yards per kick return, leading the league over the last 2 years.
That's true. We can't really act like Sidney Rice is a top receiver because Brett Favre just made him look good.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna go same position, different team. I'm gonna go Mike Wallace going from the Steelers to the Dolphins via free agency. It kills me to say it, but Mike Wallace was a good receiver. He could stretch the field like no other, and that's what the Dolphins need. They have a strong arm quarterback without anybody to catch the strong arm thrown balls. Brian Hartline is a slot receiver. He was a good receiver, not a number one receiver, and he's a slot receiver. So he's good over there at number 2. Mike Wallace can just book it down the field. And they lost Reggie Bush, so it's important for them to get something, anything. It doesn't need to be a running back, but something that can get his type of production. And Mike Wallace can get those yards that you need way down the field, just sprinting.
Definitely a solid addition. I like Harvin's versatility. Darrell Bevel, the offensive coordinator in Seattle, was his offensive coordinator in Minnesota.
And he's reuniting with Sidney Rice, so that'll be a good tandem move.
I think you can use him rushing as a 6.4 yards per carry average over his career, so that helps too.
Interesting choices, guys. I like them both. Obviously, both teams need strong receiver play. We'll see which one will end up panning out to be the best one. Now, guys, a lot of teams, in this during the offseason, made a lot of acquisitions, whether it be through the draft or through free agency. Tell me, which team next year is going to be our surprise team? Steven, lead us off.
I'm going to go down to the South, staying in Florida, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think they were a much better team than their record showed, and this team's going to live and die with Josh Freeman. So if Josh Freeman can get his production and return to his 2010 form, this team's going to do something. They have a legitimate number 1 receiver in Vincent Jackson. They have a darn good running back in Doug Martin.
Still need to see more out of Doug Martin, but
I don't know. I think Martin can be a top running back up there in the top 5, top 10 numbers.
I like his hands.
And they got Deshaun Goldson to put in safety. They got Darrelle Revis, and I guarantee you he's going to come back because he's going to have something to prove. He's going to come back strong. He's not going to let this injury take him down. And that defense is going to be something to deal with.
Yeah, they've had a lot of pickups. Josh, what do you think?
I'm going with the San Diego Chargers. They have the second easiest schedule in the NFL next year.
But can you trust Phillip Rivers? That's the question.
Yes, he led the league in passing yards a few years ago. Antonio Gates is still a top-flight tight end. I like their draft acquisitions.
He's still chucking up interception after interception.
Fluker's going to solidify the line. Keenan Allen helps in the passing game. I like Manti Te'o to help the linebacking core a little bit.
You're not too busy making jokes at him at his expense. I don't know.
They still have
Can he be a player and not a clown?
But still, they get their hardest games next year at home, and plus they play the Raiders and Chiefs twice. They get Tennessee. So
I just can't trust Phillip Rivers leading that team, especially when they don't have anybody really to catch the ball other than Floyd and Antonio Gates. And
Keenan Allen will definitely
Manti Te'o, if he cannot be a locker room distraction, then I guess so, but I don't think so. Those football players are going to tear him to pieces.
They had the 9th best defense last year, and their offense is not going to be 31st like it was this year.
And can they keep the focus with Te'o being there, being the
They have
joke?
new leadership under Mike McCoy. That's really going to help the team. North Turner was not the coach for that team.
Huh. Well,
I guess we'll have to see.
I like both of them. San Diego looks like it has a schedule to be set up for success, while Tampa seems to have the team to be set up for success. I'm going to lead toward Tampa. Now, final question for you guys. What are your preseason picks? Who is going to the Super Bowl and who's going to win? Josh,
I like the San Francisco 49ers over the Denver Broncos. San Francisco obviously got there last year. Adding Anquan Bolden helps. Nnamdi Asomugha really helps them. I like some of their draft acquisitions too. Eric Reed losing Deshaun Goldson to your Bucks pick. So that helps. Justin Smith's going to be healthy. And then for the Broncos, Manning, still a solid quarterback. And then adding Welker to Demaryius Thomas and Eric Decker, who are 1,000-yard receivers. Welker, 112 catches, 1,243 yards a year in New England. That's just a threat.
Denver's going to be dirty next year. But I don't see them. I'm going to agree with you in San Francisco. I like that pick. I'm all for that. But I'm going to disagree with you because I'm going to go with the Houston Texans. I think they finally did it. I've been saying for years, every year I watch the draft, when are they going to get a number 2 receiver to throw next to Andre Johnson? Andre Johnson's getting double teamed every year, and he's still putting up the numbers, but there's nobody on the other side. They picked up DeAndre Hopkins in the draft. I think they can slowly move him along, and that's going to be a good offense. They want to prove something after coming out and talking a lot of trash against the Patriots. and just coming up short and getting destroyed.
Both great picks. I like San Francisco. San Francisco obviously look like it's primed to go to the Super Bowl. No love for like the Patriots or anyone else. Interesting, very interesting. But we'll
I'm
see
done
what,
with the Patriots.
We'll see what happens
that.
come next year. That is all the time we have for this one-on-one webcast. But if you want more, feel free to check us out at youtube.com/1on1sports to see other webcasts. For all of us here at One-on-One, thank you for watching. And as always, whose side are you on?